6 months ago, my sister threw me into a snowstorm with a 4-year-old child in my arms and called me worthless. Tonight, the woman I saved from freezing to death turned out to be the mother of the Vampire King. The blood running through my veins is the only thing that can break the curse killing her. And my sister Rowena, she's the one who sold that woman to a trader for $500,000. In 72 hours, I went from nothing to matriarch of the most powerful vampire house in North America. This is how Rowena ended up on her knees in front of 200 witnesses begging for mercy she never showed me. This is how I learned that family isn't who raises you, it's who sees you when you're invisible. My name is Serafina Winters, but everyone who matters calls me Shra. And this is the night everything changed. The antique clock above the diner counter reads 1:47 in the morning when I finally untie my grease-stained apron. My fingers ache. 14 hours on my feet refilling coffee cups for truckers and late-night dock workers who tip in loose change. The fabric of the apron is so worn the yellow dye has faded to the color of old bone. I fold it carefully, tuck it into my canvas bag alongside a wrapped turkey sandwich I made from leftover bread ends. Dinner, or maybe breakfast, depending on how you measure time when you work 2 shifts back to back. The manager doesn't look up when I push through the back door into the alley. He never does. Portland, Maine in January is not kind to those who walk home at 2 in the morning. The cold hits like a physical thing. It steals the air from my lungs, turns my breath to white fog, makes my eyes water instantly. I pull my coat tighter, the same threadbare wool coat I've worn for 3 winters now. The lining tore apart 2 months ago. I stuffed newspaper inside to block the wind. It doesn't help much. My hands are raw, red and chapped from endless hours submerged in scalding dishwater, mixed with industrial soap. The skin across my knuckles has cracked open in thin lines that sting when I flex my fingers. I should buy lotion. I should buy new gloves. I should buy a lot of things. But the rent is due in 6 days, and I'm still $43 short. The bus stop glows under a flickering street lamp 2 blocks away. $3 for a ride home. $3 that could buy milk for Dove tomorrow. Or medicine if her cough gets worse. I turn left instead of right and start walking. 4 miles. I've walked it before. The snow crunches under my worn boots. Each step sends a jolt through my knees, my hips, my spine. My body is 27 years old, but some nights it feels ancient. The streets are empty, silent except for the distant sound of 18-wheelers on the interstate and the occasional bark of a dog. I pass the old brick church on Congress Street, the homeless shelter beside it. I don't look at the 3rd building. I never look at the 3rd building. St. Catherine's Home for Children. The iron gates are rusted now, the paint peeling. But I know every bar by heart. I know exactly how they feel when you press your forehead against them and watch someone you love walk away forever. 15 years ago, I was 12 years old and my mother brought me to those gates. It was snowing then too. She held my hand tight, too tight. Her fingers were shaking. "Listen to me, Serafina," she said. Her voice was urgent, scared. "You're going to stay here for a little while, just until things are safe." "Safe from what, Mama?" She didn't answer, just pressed her lips to my forehead. Her breath was ragged. "I love you more than anything in this world. Remember that, no matter what anyone tells you." Then she rang the bell. A woman in a gray uniform came to the gate. My mother signed papers. Her hand was shaking so hard she could barely hold the pen. "I'll come back," she whispered. "As soon as I can, I promise." She got into a waiting taxi. Yellow. I remember the color. I pressed my face against the iron bars and watched it drive away into the snow. The scent of her perfume hung in the air for 3 minutes after she disappeared. Cheap floral spray from the dollar store. I counted the seconds. 180 of them. I stood there until my legs went numb and my fingers turned blue. I thought if I waited long enough she'd come back. She never did. I didn't know until 15 years later that my mother had been murdered that very night, hours after leaving me at those gates. She'd put me there to protect me, to hide me from the people hunting her. But when you're 12 years old and you watch your mother leave, you don't think about protection. You just think she didn't want you. A month after she disappeared, Rowena showed up. My half-sister, 5 years older, wearing a cashmere coat and driving a BMW she said belonged to her boyfriend. She signed the papers, took me home, gave me a room in her downtown penthouse. "You're lucky," she said. "Girls like you end up in terrible places. But I saved you." She said it every time I forgot to thank her, every time I didn't clean the kitchen fast enough, every time I existed in a way that inconvenienced her. For 15 years, she reminded me that I owed her everything, until 6 months ago when she decided I'd paid enough. The memory hits hard and sudden. 6 months ago, Rowena's penthouse. I'm standing in the marble-floored kitchen with Dove sleeping against my shoulder. She's 3.5 years old. She has a fever. Her little body is furnace hot, and she's been crying for 2 hours straight. I need to buy children's fever medicine, the kind that tastes like artificial grape. $8 at the pharmacy 2 blocks away. I have $6.73 to my name. But earlier tonight, I worked the dinner shift at Harbor Diner, and I made decent tips. $19 in crumpled singles and quarters. I tucked them into my apron pocket. Enough for medicine and maybe some soup Dove could actually keep down. Rowena walks into the kitchen in a silk robe that probably costs more than I make in a month. Her hair is perfect. Her nails are perfect. Everything about her gleams with the shine of money I've never had. She sees the bills spread on the counter. I'm counting them, smoothing out the wrinkled edges. What's that? Her voice is sharp. Tips from tonight. She snatches the money before I can finish, counts it with quick practiced movements. $19. I need it for Dove. She's sick, and I need to buy. Rowena laughs. It's not a kind sound. You've been living under my roof for 15 years, eating my food, using my electricity, my water, my space. And you think you get to keep tip money? My arms tighten around Dove. She has a fever. I just need enough for medicine. You should have thought about that before you got yourself pregnant with some random man's baby. Rowena folds the bills and tucks them into her robe pocket. Or before you decided to keep it. The words land like slaps. I've heard worse from her. But tonight, with Dove whimpering and burning up against my chest, something inside me cracks. Please, I whisper. It's $8. That's all I need. Rowena turns to face me fully. Her eyes are cold. You know what your problem is, Sarah. You've been taking from me since you were 12 years old. I pulled you out of that disgusting children's home. I gave you everything. And you repay me by stealing. I didn't steal. You took money that belongs to me. Her voice rises. Everything in this house belongs to me. The diner where you work, I got you that job through my connections. The shoes you're wearing, I bought them. You own nothing. You are nothing without me. Dove starts crying. The sound is raw and exhausted. Rowena's expression twists with disgust. I can't do this anymore. 15 years of this. She walks to the front door. Opens it. Cold air rushes in. Get out. The world tilts. What out? Rowena points to the hallway beyond. Pack your bastard child and go. I'm done being your charity case. It's 1 a.m. It's snowing. Dove is sick. Not my problem. Rowena grabs my coat from the hook, throws it at me. You've bled me dry for long enough. I want you gone. Now. I don't remember walking to the door. I don't remember stepping into the hallway. I remember Rowena's face, beautiful and merciless. I remember the door slamming. I remember standing in that carpeted hallway holding my daughter while she cried and shivered. I remember thinking, maybe she's right. Maybe I am worthless. But then Dove pressed her hot little face into my neck and whispered, Mama. And I thought, no, I'm a mother. That's worth everything. I walked down 18 flights of stairs because I didn't have money for cab fare. I walked to the emergency room at Maine Medical Center. They saw Dove for free, gave her fever reducer, sent us home with samples. I found the apartment on Maple Street 3 days later. $400 a month for 2 rooms with peeling wallpaper and a radiator that hisses but barely produces heat. The landlord didn't run a credit check. He just needed first month's rent in cash. I've been there 6 months now. And I've survived every single day. The present crashes back. I'm standing on Congress Street in the freezing dark staring at St. Catherine's gates without meaning to. I shake my head, force my feet to move. 2 more miles to home. I can make it. The wind picks up. It carries the scent of salt water and pine of frozen harbor and diesel exhaust. Portland is beautiful during the day. Historic brick buildings and cobblestone streets that tourists love. At night, it's just cold. I cut through the alley behind the old textile mill, a shortcut. My boots slip on black ice, but I catch myself against a brick wall. Keep moving. That's when I see her. At first, I think it's a pile of discarded fabric, white cloth heaped on the wooden bench at the bus stop on Exchange Street. But then the wind shifts and the cloth moves. It's a woman, an elderly woman sitting perfectly still on the bench wearing nothing but a thin ivory nightgown. No coat, no shoes, just bare feet on frozen concrete, and that pale nightgown rippling in the wind. I stop walking. My logical brain says, keep going. You can't save everyone. Call 911 from home. Let professionals handle it. But my feet don't listen. I cross the street. Up close, I can see her more clearly. She's very old, maybe 70, maybe older. It's hard to tell. Her skin is porcelain pale, almost translucent in the streetlight. Her hair is pure white, long and unbound, blowing wild in the coastal wind. She's shivering, her thin shoulders trembling underneath the nightgown. But her lips are moving. She's talking to herself in a voice barely louder than a whisper. I kneel down in front of her. The cold from the concrete seeps through my jeans instantly. Ma'am, my voice is gentle. Ma'am, are you okay? She doesn't seem to hear me. Her eyes are unfocused. They're a strange color, silver blue like winter ice. The moonlight lilies, she murmurs. They're dying. Who will tend them? Who will sing them to sleep? Her hands are folded in her lap. They're shaking. Ma'am, what's your name? No response, just that same soft murmuring. The lilies need moonlight. The garden is dark. Where is my boat? Where? I look around. The street is empty. No cars, no people, no open businesses where I could call for help. Just me and this woman who is going to freeze to death if someone doesn't do something. I should call the police. That's the right thing to do, the responsible thing. But I spent 2 years in the system after my mother left me at those gates. I know what happens to people who can't speak for themselves. I know about the state facilities, the sterile rooms, the medications that turn people into ghosts, the loneliness. I can't do that to her. I pull off my coat. It's not much. It's falling apart and full of newspaper. But it's warm from my body heat. I drape it around her shoulders. Hold on to me, I whisper. I'm taking you somewhere safe. She blinks. Her silver blue eyes focus on my face for just a second. Something flickers there. Recognition, maybe. Or just confusion. But when I help her stand, she doesn't resist. She's astonishingly light. When I turn my back and crouch down, she climbs on with surprising ease. Her arms loop around my neck. Her weight is almost nothing, like carrying a bird, or mist given form. Where is the garden? She whispers against my ear. I'll help you find it, I lie. But first we need to get you warm. I start walking, 2 miles carrying a stranger on my back through a snowstorm. My legs burn, my lungs burn. The cold cuts through my thin sweater like knives. But I don't stop. Every few minutes the old woman hums. It's a melody I've never heard before, wordless and haunting. Ancient sounding. It sends shivers down my spine that have nothing to do with the temperature. By the time I reach the apartment building on Maple Street, I can barely feel my fingers. I have to set her down to unlock the door. She sways but stays upright, still murmuring about lilies and moonlight and someone she calls my boy. The stairs to the 3rd floor are narrow and steep. I help her climb, 1 step at a time. The apartment is dark. I left a lamp on for Dove, but it's just a 40-watt bulb that barely pushes back the shadows. I settle the woman in the old armchair near the radiator. It's the warmest spot in the room. I pile every blanket I own on top of her. 3 thin quilts and Dove's favorite fleece throw with cartoon butterflies. Stay here, I tell her. I'll make tea. She doesn't respond, just stares at the dark window with those strange pale eyes. I check on Dove. She's asleep in our shared bedroom, curled around a stuffed rabbit that's missing 1 ear. Her breathing is steady. The cough is better. In the kitchen, I boil water in the dented kettle. I don't have one. Some generic tea bags from the dollar store. A spoonful of honey in a jar. When I bring the mug back, the old woman is holding something. A paper napkin from the coffee table. She's folded it into an intricate shape. A butterfly. Perfect and delicate, with wings that seem to catch the lamplight. She sets it on the armrest and picks up another napkin. Her hands move with absolute certainty. Fold. Crease, turn, fold again. Another butterfly. That's beautiful, I whisper. She doesn't look up, just keeps folding. Her lips move, but I can't hear the words. I sit on the floor beside the chair. My body aches, my feet throb. I should sleep, but something keeps me there, watching this strange woman make butterflies out of nothing. What's your name? I ask quietly. She pauses, looks at me with those silver blue eyes. For a long moment, she says nothing. Then I don't remember. The words are clear, lucid, and utterly heartbreaking. That's okay, I tell her. My throat feels tight. You can stay here until you do. She touches my hand. Her fingers are ice cold but gentle. You have kind eyes, she says, like someone I loved. Then she goes back to folding butterflies. I fall asleep on the floor beside her chair. 3 weeks pass. I name her Vivian, Miss V for short. It seems to fit her somehow. Elegant and old-fashioned. She still doesn't remember her real name. She doesn't remember where she came from or how she ended up on that bench. Most days she doesn't remember much of anything, but she remembers how to make tea. Not just any tea. She steeps the cheap bags exactly 6 times in the hot water. No more, no less. Stirs the cup in slow, deliberate circles. Exactly 6 rotations clockwise. The result is transformed. Even my dollar store tea tastes like something precious when she makes it. She remembers how to fold paper into butterflies. She makes dozens of them. They fill the apartment now. Perched on windowsills hanging from strings I attach to the ceiling, scattered across every surface. Dove loves them. My daughter took to Vivian immediately. No fear, no hesitation, just pure acceptance. Grandmama, she calls her. I didn't teach her that. She just started saying it. Every night before I leave for my shift at the diner, Vivian sits in the armchair with Dove in her lap. She hums that wordless melody, the same haunting tune from the night I found her. Dove falls asleep within minutes. Deep, peaceful sleep. The kind she never had before. I'm grateful beyond words, but I'm also starting to notice things, strange things. Vivian doesn't eat. I've offered her food countless times. Soup, bread, fruit. She accepts it politely, but I never actually see her consume anything. The plates sit untouched until I quietly take them away. She only drinks tea, and even then I'm not sure she actually swallows it. She avoids the windows during the day. If sunlight streams in, she moves to the shadows. Not frantically, just automatically, like something instinctive. And her skin is always cold. Not just cool, actually cold, like touching marble. One night I wake at 3 in the morning. I don't know why, just sudden alertness in the dark. I sit up and look toward the living room. Vivian is standing at the window, perfectly still. The moonlight falls across her face. Her eyes are glowing, not reflecting light, actually glowing. A soft crimson light that pulses gently. She's speaking in a language I don't recognize. The words are fluid and melodic, ancient sounding. My heart pounds. I should be terrified. Every rational part of my brain is screaming danger. But Vivian looks so sad, so lost. She reaches toward the window, her palm presses against the glass. "Where are you, my boy?" she whispers, in English now, her voice is breaking. "I can't find you, the dark is so deep." Then the glow fades from her eyes, she blinks, sways slightly. I'm out of bed and across the room before I think about it. "Miss V," I catch her elbow. "Are you okay?" She turns to look at me, her eyes are normal again, silver blue and confused. "Did I wake you, dear?" she asks softly. "I apologize, I was just looking for something." "What were you looking for?" She frowns. "I don't remember." I guide her back to the armchair, tuck the blankets around her. "It's okay," I tell her. "You're safe here." She pats my hand. "You're a good girl, so kind. Your mother would be proud." I don't tell her that I thought my mother abandoned me, that I only recently learned she died protecting me. I just smile and say, "Get some rest." In the morning, Vivian doesn't remember the incident. She wakes cheerful and disoriented, asking if she can help make breakfast. I don't mention what I saw, but I start to wonder, who is she really? What is she? And somewhere deep in my gut, underneath the love I've grown to feel for this strange woman, there's a whisper of fear, because I'm starting to suspect that Vivian isn't entirely human. But the thing is, I don't care. She's family now. She takes care of Dove when I work double shifts. She hums lullabies that make my daughter smile. She folds butterflies and leaves them on my pillow, so I find them when I come home exhausted. She sees me. In a world where I've been invisible my whole life, Vivian sees me. So whatever she is, wherever she came from, I'll protect her. The night everything changes starts like any other. It's a Thursday. The diner is busy with the after-work crowd. Fishermen coming off the boats. Office workers grabbing dinner before heading home. I'm refilling coffee when the bell above the door chimes. 2 men walk in. The diner goes quiet, not silent, but there's a shift in the energy, like everyone suddenly became aware of something predatory in their midst. I look up. The first man is massive, 6.5 feet tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair pulled back in a severe knot. He's wearing a long black coat that looks expensive, military bearing. His eyes scan the room with professional efficiency. A bodyguard, I think, or something worse. But it's the second man who steals the air from my lungs. He's tall, but not as tall as his companion. Maybe 6'2", Slender build, but there's a coiled strength in the way he moves, like a blade in a sheath. His hair is the color of moonlight, pure silver white falling past his shoulders in a straight, heavy curtain. His face is beautiful, devastatingly so. Sharp cheekbones, strong jaw, pale skin that looks like it's never seen the sun. But it's his eyes that pin me in place. They're dark, almost black in the diner's fluorescent lighting, and they're full of a grief so profound it makes my chest ache just looking at him. He looks exhausted, like he hasn't slept in weeks, like he's carrying the weight of something unbearable. The two men take a booth near the fogged window. The big one sits facing the door. The silver-haired one slides in across from him. I grab two menus and walk over. "Welcome to Harbor Diner," I say automatically. "Can I start you with coffee?" The big one nods once, doesn't smile. The silver-haired man doesn't respond. He's staring at something on the table. A piece of paper. I glance down as I set the menus in front of them. It's a flyer, the kind you see stapled to telephone poles or taped inside shop windows. "Missing person," it says in bold letters across the top. Below that, there's a drawing, not a photograph, a sketch done in incredible detail. An elderly woman with long white hair and elegant features. Her eyes are kind, her expressions serene. The resemblance hits me like a fist to the stomach. Vivian. It's Vivian's. My hand starts shaking. The coffee pot rattles against the saucer. The silver-haired man looks up. His dark eyes meet mine. And I know, with absolute certainty, that he knows I've recognized the woman in the picture. "Have you seen her?" His voice is soft, cultured, British accent maybe. But underneath the politeness, there's desperation, raw and bleeding. I should lie. I should say no, walk away, protect Vivian. But those eyes, God, those eyes. I've seen that look before, in the mirror. 15 years ago when I pressed my face against iron gates and thought my mother had abandoned me. It's the look of someone who's lost the person they love most in the world. My voice cracks. The big man tenses. His hand moves slightly toward his coat, but the silver-haired one holds up a hand, a gesture that says, "Wait, be gentle." "Please," he says quietly. "Her name is Vivian Nightshade. She's my mother. She's been missing for 4 weeks. She's ill, confused. If you've seen her, if you know anything, I'm begging you, tell me." His mother. Of course, I should have seen it. The same pale skin, the same delicate features. My mind races. If I tell him, he'll take her away. Vivian will disappear from the apartment, from Dove's life, from mine. But if I don't tell him, I'm keeping a son from his mother. I know what it's like to lose a mother, to spend years wondering, searching. I can't do that to him. I can't be that person. I set the coffee pot down before I drop it. "Sir," I whisper. My heart is pounding so hard I can barely hear my own voice. "The woman in this picture, she's safe. She's resting in my apartment." Time stops. The silver-haired man goes absolutely still. His face doesn't change. But something happens behind his eyes. Something breaks open, where the word is barely audible. Then suddenly he's standing, moving with impossible speed. 1 second he's sitting, the next he's right in front of me. His hands grip my shoulders, not painfully, but firm, urgent. And for just a fraction of a second his eyes change. They glow crimson, bright and inhuman. My breath catches. He sees my fear, sees the recognition. "You know," he says quietly. "You know what I am." I nod slowly. "You're not human." "No." His voice is steady, honest. "I'm what your kind calls a monster, a vampire. I've lived for 800 years. I've done terrible things." The diner is frozen. Everyone's staring. The big man has moved to stand beside his companion. His hand is definitely inside his coat now. But the silver-haired one doesn't look away from me. "But I'm also a son," he continues. His voice drops to a whisper. "A son who has been searching for his mother for 28 days. A son who thought he'd lost her forever. And you're telling me she's alive." Tears prick at my eyes. I think about 12-year-old me, standing at those gates, thinking I'd been abandoned. I think about how I would have given anything for my mother to come back. "I'll take you to her," I say, "but I have one condition." His eyes search my face. "Name it." "I come with you, and you promise me you won't hurt her. You won't take her somewhere she'll be scared. You'll be gentle." For the first time, something like hope crosses his features. "On my immortal soul," he says. I swear it. Then he does something that makes the entire diner gasp. He drops to one knee in front of me. This powerful, beautiful, ancient creature, kneeling on the dirty linoleum floor of a Portland diner. Please, he says, take me to my mother. I look down at him, at the grief and hope warring in his face, and I think this is the moment. This is where everything changes. My shift ends in 20 minutes, I tell him. Wait for me. He stands slowly, nods. I go back behind the counter. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely hold the coffee pot. The silver-haired man and his companion sit back down at their booth. Neither of them orders food. They just wait. 20 minutes feels like hours. When I finally untie my apron and grab my coat, they're already standing by the door. We step out into the freezing night. The snow is falling again, thick white flakes that swirl in the streetlights. What's your name? The silver-haired man asks as we walk. Serafina, I tell him. Serafina Winters. People call me Sarah. Lucian, he says. Lucian Nightshade. We walk 4 blocks in silence. The big man follows behind us like a shadow. When we reach the apartment building, I lead them up the narrow stairs. My hands shake as I unlock the door. Inside, Vivian is sitting in her usual chair. Dove is curled up on the rug beside her, surrounded by paper butterflies. Vivian is folding another one, her hands moving with practiced grace. Lucian freezes in the doorway. I watch his face, watch everything he's been holding together for 4 weeks finally shatter. Mother, he whispers, and the vampire king of the North Atlantic begins to cry. Lucian Nightshade crosses the threshold of my tiny apartment, and the air itself seems to change. He moves like water, fluid and silent, each step deliberate. His silver hair catches the lamplight, turning it to liquid mercury. The big man, Caspian, I learn later, stays by the door, a sentinel. But Lucian's attention is focused on only one thing, the woman in the armchair. Vivian doesn't look up. She's folding another butterfly from a paper napkin. Her slender fingers work with practiced precision. Crease, turn, fold. The movements are hypnotic. Dove sits cross-legged at her feet, holding a lopsided butterfly she made herself. She looks up when we enter. Her 4-year-old eyes go wide at the sight of the tall man with moon-colored hair. Mama, she whispers. Who's that? I kneel beside her, someone who's been looking for grandmama. It's okay, baby. Lucian takes 3 steps into the room and stops. He's shaking. This ancient, powerful creature is trembling like a leaf in a storm. Mother. The word comes out broken, raw. Vivian's hands pause mid-fold. She looks up slowly. For a long moment, she just stares at him. Her silver blue eyes are clouded, confused. She tilts her head like a bird trying to place a familiar song. Do I know you? She asks softly. I watch Lucian's face crumble. He sinks to his knees on my worn carpet. Right there in the middle of the room, this man who commands kingdoms and controls the night. On his knees. It's me, he whispers. His voice is wrecked. It's Lucian, your son. Vivian sets the half-finished butterfly aside. She studies him with that distant, searching expression I've come to know so well. I had a son, she says slowly, a long time ago. He had winter eyes, eyes like storm clouds. Lucian's hands are clenched in his lap. I'm right here. I've been searching for you for 28 days. Please, please remember. She reaches out. Her cold fingers touch his face, trace the line of his jaw, move up to his temple, behind his ear. She stops. Her fingertip rests on a spot just below his hairline, a place I can't see. This scar, she murmurs, from the silver blade. When you were just a boy, you fell into the garden. Something flickers in her eyes, a spark catching flame. You cried, she continues. Her voice is getting stronger, clearer. You never cried, but that time you did. And I held you, I sang to you. Her eyes focus, really focus. And suddenly she's not the confused old woman anymore. She's someone else, someone regal, powerful. My boy. Her voice breaks. My little boy with the winter eyes. Lucian makes a sound I've never heard a grown man make, a sob that comes from somewhere deep and primal. He buries his face in his mother's lap and weeps. Vivian's hands stroke his silver hair over and over, the way mothers have comforted their children since the beginning of time. I'm here, she whispers. I'm here, darling. I'm here. I turn away. This moment is too private, too sacred for witnesses. I gather Dove in my arms and carry her to the bedroom. Tuck her into bed even though she protests. Why is the pretty man crying, she asks. Because he found something he thought he lost forever, I tell her. Go to sleep, baby. Through the thin walls, I can hear Lucian's broken voice asking questions. Vivian answering. Sometimes her voice is clear and strong. Sometimes it fades back into confusion. But she knows him. She remembers. I lean against the bedroom door and close my eyes. I did the right thing. I know I did. So why does my chest hurt like something's being torn away? An hour later, I emerge from the bedroom. Lucian is sitting on the floor beside Vivian's chair. He hasn't moved. His hand is wrapped around hers. He looks exhausted. But the desperation in his eyes has been replaced by something else. Relief. Pure overwhelming relief. Caspian still stands by the door. He nods at me. It's the first acknowledgement he's given that I exist. Vivian sees me and smiles. There you are, dear. Come sit. We were just talking about you. I perch on the arm of the couch. About me, Lucian looks up. His eyes are red-rimmed but focused. My mother says you've been caring for her for 3 weeks, that you found her freezing on a bench and brought her home. I shrug. Imaz, she needed help. But you didn't call the authorities. You didn't take her to a hospital. His gaze is intense. Why? How do I explain that I know what it's like to be processed by systems that don't care? To be reduced to a file number and a diagnosis? She seems scared, I say finally. And alone. I couldn't just leave her. Something shifts in Lucian's expression. You've been feeding her, sheltering her, taking care of her while working how many jobs? 2 shifts at the diner. I meet his eyes. It's fine. We managed. You gave her your bed. The chair is comfortable. You gave her your coat the night you found her. You walked home in freezing temperatures without it. I don't know how he knows that. Maybe Vivian told him. Maybe he can just see it somehow. She needed it more than I did. Lucian stands, slowly. He crosses the small space between us. Up close, he's even more beautiful and more terrifying. There's something predatory in the way he moves, something that reminds me he's not human. But his eyes are gentle. Thank you, he says quietly. You saved my mother's life. I owe you a debt I can never repay. Before I can respond, Vivian speaks. Lucian, her voice has changed. There's an edge to it, an urgency. I need to tell you something, while I still remember. Lucian turns immediately, kneels beside her again. What is it? Vivian's hands tighten around his. I didn't just wander off. I didn't have an episode and get lost. She takes a shaky breath. They took me. The temperature in the room drops. I don't mean metaphorically. I mean the actual temperature plummets. My breath fogs in the air. Frost creeps across the window. Lucian's voice is very soft, very controlled. Who took you? I was in the winter gardens, tending to the moonlight lilies. It was just after sunset. Vivian's eyes are distant, seeing the memory. Shadows move between the trees. At first, I thought it was guards, but they moved wrong, too fast, too deliberate. Caspian shifts by the door, alert. They wore cloaks, Vivian continues, dark gray, but I saw the sigils, the crossed blades over a crimson moon. Thaddeus Vane's mark. Lucian goes very still. Thaddeus. His men grab me. I tried to fight. I'm not as strong as I once was, but I'm not helpless. Her voice hardens. They had blood iron chains. And a mage. She chanted in the old tongue. Memory erosion curse. My hand flies to my mouth. Lucian's expression is carved from ice. Go on. They took me to a cellar, damp and dark. They starved me of moonlight. The curse was slow. Day by day, my mind unraveled. They wanted me to forget everything. Forget who I was. Forget you. Wander the streets until I faded to nothing. Why? The word is barely a whisper. Vivian meets her son's eyes. Because if I died confused and alone, you would break. They were counting on it. You would abandon the throne in your grief. And Thaddeus would claim what he's always wanted, the Nightshade's seat of power. The silence that follows is absolute. Then Lucian speaks. His voice is glacier cold. How did you escape? The mage made a mistake. She cast the curse too strong. Instead of making me docile, it made me erratic. I broke free during a transfer. Ran. I don't remember how long. Everything was fog. Vivian's voice wavers. I just remember cold. And then this angel found me. She looks at me, smiles. I don't feel like an angel. I feel like I'm drowning in information I don't understand. But there's more. I can see it in Vivian's face. There's something else, she says quietly. Something worse. Lucian leans closer. Tell me. Thaddeus didn't plan this alone. He had help. Someone who knew my routines, who knew when I'd be alone in the garden. She pauses, swallows. Someone gave him that information in exchange for money. Who? Vivian looks at me, really looks at me, and my blood turns to ice. The woman who came to my captors 3 days before they took me. She had a photograph of me, my walking schedule, details about the garden gates. She negotiated a price. Vivian's voice is steady, clinical. $500,000. I heard them say her name. No, 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 no. Rowena Winters. The floor tilts. That's my sister's name. Lucian's head snaps toward me. Winters, you're Sarah Winters. I can't breathe, can't think. Rowena sold this woman, sold how Vivian knew to people who tortured her, who tried to destroy her mind. For money. My sister did this. I don't... My voice cracks. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Lucian studies me. I can feel his power pressing against me. Not threatening, just assessing. She speaks true, Caspian says from the door. No deception in her heartbeat. Of course she didn't know, Vivian says firmly. This girl has a pure heart. I'd stake my existence on it. But I'm barely hearing them. My mind is reeling. Rowena knew. She knew Vivian was a vampire. She knew who she was. And she sold her. Is that where the money came from? The new car she bought 2 months ago? The designer clothes, the expensive jewelry. Blood money. I'm so sorry, I whisper. I'm so sorry. Vivian reaches for me, pulls me down to sit beside her. Child, you have nothing to apologize for. You saved me. You gave me shelter when I had nothing. But my sister, it is not you. Vivian's voice is iron. We don't choose our blood relations. We choose who we call family. Lucian is very quiet. When he speaks, his voice is controlled. Too controlled. Thaddeus Vane is my second in command. I've known him for 3 centuries. I trusted him with my mother's life. He looks at Vivian, and Rowena Winters will answer for what she's done. There's a promise in those words. A dark, terrible promise. I should be afraid, but all I feel is numb. We need to leave, Caspian says. If they know the curse is breaking, they'll come to finish it. Lucian nods, stands. Mother, can you travel? I think so. He turns to me. Sarah, you and your daughter need to come with us. I shake my head. No, this isn't our fight. We'll be fine here. You won't. Lucian's eyes are serious. Thaddeus knows my mother was here. By morning, he'll have traced her magical signature to this address. If he finds out you helped her, you become a liability. He wouldn't hurt a child. He tortured my mother for 4 weeks and left her to die in the street. Lucian's voice is flat. Yes, he would hurt a child. The words sink in like stones. I look at the bedroom door, at Dove sleeping peacefully beyond it. I can protect you, Lucian says quietly. Both of you, but you have to trust me. Do I have a choice? I think about Rowena, about what she's capable of. If she sold Vivian for money, what would she do to me if she knew I'd helped expose her? Okay, I whisper. Give me 10 minutes to pack. Ravencrest Estate sits on a cliff overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. I've lived in Portland my whole life, and I never knew this place existed. We drive for 40 minutes through winding coastal roads. The snow falls heavier. Caspian drives a black car that's so smooth, I can barely feel the road. Lucian sits in back with Vivian. I hold Dove in my lap. She woke up confused when I dressed her, but she's asleep again now, trusting. The gates appear suddenly, wrought iron, 20 feet tall, worked into intricate patterns that look like thorns and wings. They swing open silently. The drive beyond winds through pine forest. Then the trees fall away and I see it. The manor. It's massive. Gothic architecture. Gray stone that looks ancient. Towers and turrets. Windows that glow with warm light. It looks like something from a fairy tale. The dangerous kind. We pull up to the main entrance. The doors open before we reach them. A woman in a crisp suit descends the stairs. She's beautiful. Dark skin, silver hair pulled back in a severe bun. She radiates competence. My lord, she says. Then she sees Vivian. Her professional mask cracks. My lady. Hello, Meredith, Vivian says warmly. I apologize for my appearance. It's been a difficult month. Meredith actually smiles. You're home, that's all that matters. Servants materialize. They help Vivian inside. Someone takes our coats. I stand in the grand foyer holding Dove and trying not to gape. The ceilings are vaulted, 30 feet high at least. Chandeliers drip crystal. The floor is white marble veined with gold. There are actual oil paintings on the walls. Old masters. This isn't a house, it's a palace. Meredith will show you to a guest suite, Lucian says. You'll be safe here. I need to work, I blurt out. My shift tomorrow. If I don't show up, I'll lose the job. Lucian looks at me like I've spoken a foreign language. You're under my protection now. You don't need to work. I need to pay rent and buy food for Dove. I can't just, he cuts me off gently. Your rent is paid 6 months in advance as of an hour ago. Your diner has been informed you're taking personal leave for a family emergency. Paid leave. I stare at him. You can't just, I can and I will. His tone brooks no argument. You saved my mother when she was dying alone. You asked for nothing in return. Allow me to give you something anyway. Pride wars with practicality. Practicality wins. It always does when you're poor. Thank you, I say quietly. Meredith leads us upstairs. The guest suite is bigger than my entire apartment. There's a 4-poster bed with silk sheets, a bathroom with a tub the size of a small pool, a sitting area with a fireplace. Dove wakes up when I lay her on the bed. She looks around with wide eyes. Mama, is this a castle? Something like that, baby. Are we princesses now? I smooth her hair. No, we're just visiting. Go back to sleep. But sleep doesn't come for me. I pace the room for hours, my mind spinning. Rowena sold Vivian. My sister is working with people who torture elderly women. What do I do with that information? Around 3 in the morning, there's a soft knock on the door. I open it to find a woman I've never seen before. She's petite, maybe 50, wearing a white doctor's coat over elegant clothes. Miss Winters, I'm Dr. Isolde Voss. Lord Nightshade asked me to examine you and your daughter. Just a precaution. Make sure you weren't exposed to any residual magic from Lady Vivian's curse. Magic. She says it so casually. I let her in. She checks Dove first. Gentle and efficient. Takes a small sample of blood with a device that doesn't even wake her. Then she turns to me. Your arm, please. I roll up my sleeve. She presses a strange metal instrument against my inner elbow. It's warm, tingles slightly. Then it beeps. Dr. Voss goes very still. What? I ask. What is it? She doesn't answer, just takes an actual blood sample, puts it in a vial that glows faintly blue. The glow intensifies. Dr. Voss sits down heavily. Oh my God. What am I sick? Is it cancer? What? You are not sick. She looks at me, really looks at me. Miss Winters, what do you know about your family history? Not much. My mother, she left me at an orphanage when I was 12. I thought she abandoned me. I don't know who my father is. Your mother's name? Carolyn Winters. Dr. Voss pulls out a tablet, types rapidly. Her expression grows more and more shocked. What? I demand. She turns the tablet toward me. There's a photograph. A woman maybe 30 years old. Dark hair, kind eyes. My mother. But she looks younger than I remember. Happier. This is Caroline Winters, Dr. Voss says quietly. She was registered with the council 28 years ago. Listed as a half-blood healer. Descended from the Lightbringer line. The words mean nothing to me. I don't understand. The Lightbringers were an ancient bloodline, healers who could channel pure light magic. They protected VampireKing for thousands of years, helped us maintain balance with the mortal world. She pauses. They were thought extinct. The last confirmed Lightbringer died in 1802. My heart is pounding. What are you saying? Your mother was a Lightbringer descendant, and so are you. Dr. Voss looks at the glowing vial. Your blood carries the marker, dormant but there. You have magic in your veins, Serafina. The room tilts. That's impossible. I'm human. I can't do magic. You can. You just don't know how. She sets the vial down carefully. This changes everything. Why won't Dr. Voss meets my eyes? Because Lightbringer blood can do something no other magic can. It can break memory curses. Completely. Permanently. Oh God. Vivian, I whisper. If you were to participate in a healing ritual with Lady Vivian, your blood could restore her fully. No more episodes, no more confusion. She'd be whole again. I don't hesitate. Do it. Whatever you need, do it. Dr. Voss smiles. Lord Nightshade said you'd say that, but there's something else you need to know. What? Her expression turns gentle, almost pitying. 15 years ago, there was an event we call the Purge. The old council, a group of traditional vampires, decided half-bloods were becoming too powerful, too influential. They ordered the elimination of anyone with mixed blood. Her voice is soft. Your mother was killed in that purge. It wasn't random. It wasn't chance. She was targeted. The room is spinning. My mother didn't abandon me. She was murdered. She brought you to St. Catherine's that day to protect you, Dr. Voss continues. She hid you there knowing they were coming for her. She died that very night, hours after leaving you at those gates. The tears come fast and hard. All these years, all the nights I hated her for leaving, all the times I thought I wasn't good enough for her to stay. And she was dead, killed because of what she was, because she tried to protect people like me. Why didn't anyone tell me? You were in the foster system. The council had no idea you existed. Your mother hid you perfectly, protected you. Dr. Voss touches my hand. She loved you enough to make herself the target, so you could survive. I can't stop crying. There's one more thing, Dr. Voss says quietly. The vampire who protected your mother, who fought to save the half-bloods during the purge. It was Lucian's father. He died trying to stop the old council. I look up. Lucian's father. Yes, which means your mother and Lucian's family are connected by blood and sacrifice. You're not a stranger to them, Serafina. You're family. The healing ritual takes place the next evening. Dr. Voss explains it carefully. I'll need to give Vivian a small amount of my blood. Just a few drops. The Lightbringer magic will do the rest. Lucian asks me 3 times if I'm sure. I tell him yes, every time. We gather in Vivian's chambers. It's a beautiful room, all dark wood and silver accents. Moonlight streams through floor-to-ceiling windows. Vivian sits in a chair by the fireplace. She's wearing an elegant dressing gown. Her white hair is loose around her shoulders. She looks regal, but I can see the fear in her eyes. What if it doesn't work, she whispers. What if I'm too far gone? You're not, I tell her firmly. I sit across from her. And even if you were, I'd still try. Dr. Voss prepares the ritual. Candles, herbs, a silver bowl that looks ancient. She makes a small cut on my palm. It stings but doesn't hurt badly. I hold my hand over the bowl. Let 3 drops of blood fall. They hit the silver with a sound like bells. The blood doesn't pool. It glows. Bright white light that fills the bowl. Dr. Voss adds herbs, speaks words in a language I don't know. Then she brings the bowl to Vivian. Drink, my lady. Vivian lifts the bowl to her lips, drinks. For a moment, nothing happens. Then she gasps. Light explodes through her, pouring from her eyes, her mouth, her hands, white and pure and blinding. I shield my eyes. When the light fades, Vivian is different. Her eyes are clear, focused, sharp. She looks at her hands, flexes her fingers. Then she looks at me. Serafina. Her voice is strong, confident, no confusion. Caroline's daughter. I nod, unable to speak. Vivian stands, crosses to me, takes my face in her hands. Your mother saved my husband's life twice. She was the bravest woman I ever knew. Tears slide down her perfect face. And you saved mine. You're the daughter of my heart now. Do you understand your family? She pulls me into her arms. I break down, sobbing into her shoulder like a child. I've got you, she murmurs. I've got you, darling. Across the room, Lucian watches. His expression is unreadable. But when our eyes meet, something passes between us. Understanding. Connection. Something that feels dangerous and inevitable. 2 days pass in a strange dreamlike peace. Dove loves Ravencrest. She runs through the halls, explores the library. Caspian terrifying. Caspian teaches her to make paper cranes to go with Vivian's butterflies. I spend time with Vivian, learning about her world, about vampire politics and ancient magic and the delicate balance between mortal and immortal. She tells me about Lucian's father, about how he fought for equality, how he died protecting people like my mother. And I start to understand Lucian better. He's not cold, he's careful, cautious, because he's learned that the people you trust can betray you, that the people you love can be taken away. We have that in common. One evening, Lucian finds me on the East Terrace. I'm watching the sunset over the ocean. The sky is painted in shades of orange and purple. Beautiful, isn't it? He says quietly. I nod. I've lived in Portland my whole life. I've never seen the ocean from this angle. He leans against the stone railing beside me. Thank you for the ritual, for giving my mother her life back. You already thanked me, multiple times. It will never be enough. We stand in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Lucian speaks. Sarah, there's something I need to tell you. The seriousness in his tone makes my stomach drop. What? This morning the Nightshade Council convened. Thaddeus Vane has formally accused me of harboring a human spy. He claims you manipulated my mother, that you're working to undermine vampire law. I go cold. That's insane. I know, but he has influence. And he's provided fabricated evidence. Documents that make it look like you've been planning this. Planning what? To infiltrate vampire society. To steal our secrets. Lucian's jaw tightens. He's demanded a public judgment. A trial before the full council. 7 elders. 200 witnesses. When tomorrow at sunset, the world narrows to a pinpoint. What happens if they find me guilty? Lucian doesn't answer immediately. That tells me everything. Execution, I whisper. I won't let that happen. His voice is fierce. I'll fight the entire council if I have to. And if you lose, I won't lose. But I can see the fear in his eyes. He's not certain. There's more, he says quietly. Thaddeus has a witness who will testify against you. Someone who claims to know your true character. My blood runs cold. Who? Lucian meets my eyes. Your sister, Rowena Winters. The betrayal shouldn't surprise me, but it does. It cuts deep. Rowena isn't just going to let me expose her. She's going to destroy me first. She'll lie, I say. She'll say anything to protect herself. I know. Lucian takes my hand. His skin is cold, but his grip is steady. But we have truth on our side, and we have proof. The contract Vivian saw, the magical traces on the paper butterflies. We'll expose her. I want to believe him, but I've learned that truth doesn't always win. Sometimes power wins, and Rowena has always been good at using power. Sarah, Lucian's voice is soft. Look at me. I do. I will protect you, he says, even if it costs me everything. You saved my mother. You gave me back the person I love most in this world. I don't break my debts. Something warm blooms in my chest. Not just gratitude, something deeper. Thank you, I whisper. He lifts my hand, presses a kiss to my knuckles. It's an old-fashioned gesture, courtly, but the way he looks at me is anything but old-fashioned. There's heat in his eyes, want. The moment stretches, then Caspian appears in the doorway. My lord, the council has sent formal summons. The trial begins at sunset tomorrow. The spell breaks. Lucian releases my hand, steps back. Prepare the estate, he orders. Full security protocols. No one enters or leaves without my permission. Caspian nods and disappears. Lucian turns back to me. Get some rest, he says. Tomorrow will be difficult. I won't be able to sleep. Try anyway. He hesitates. Then you're braver than you know, Serafina Winters. Don't forget that. He leaves before I can respond. I stand on the terrace as the last light fades from the sky. Tomorrow I'll stand trial before 200 vampires. Tomorrow my sister will try to destroy me. Tomorrow I might die. But tonight I'm not afraid, because I've already survived the worst thing life can throw at a person. I survived thinking I was unwanted, unloved, abandoned. And I came out the other side with a heart that still knows how to care. That's a kind of strength Rowena will never understand. I go inside, check on Dove. She's sleeping peacefully in the enormous bed surrounded by stuffed animals the servants brought her. I kiss her forehead. Whatever happens, I whisper. You'll be safe, I promise. Then I go to my own room, and I try to prepare for war. The attack comes mere hours before my trial. I'm not asleep, haven't been able to sleep. I'm sitting by the window in my borrowed nightgown watching the moon hang low over the Atlantic. In just a few hours, I'll stand before the council. In just a few hours, Rowena will try to destroy me in front of 200 witnesses. I'm trying to be brave, trying to remember what Lucian said about strength. Then the first scream cuts through the night. I'm on my feet instantly, heart pounding. My first thought is Dove. I run to the bedroom. She's still asleep, peaceful, safe, but the screaming continues, shouting, the clash of metal on metal. I grab my daughter, wrap her in blankets. She wakes confused and frightened. Mama. Shh, baby. Stay quiet. The door to my suite slams open. Caspian stands there, blood on his coat, sword drawn. His eyes are wild. They're inside, he says. Thaddeus didn't wait for the trial. He's attacking now. How many? 30, maybe more. He crosses to us. I need to get you to the safe room, now. We run. The hallways of Ravencrest are chaos. Servants fleeing, guards fighting, and the attackers. They wear dark gray cloaks, move with inhuman speed. Their eyes glow red in the dim light. Vampires, rogue vampires loyal to Thaddeus. Caspian cuts down 2 that get too close. His movements are precise, lethal, but there are so many. We reach the east wing. The master chambers where Vivian sleeps. The door is open. Inside, Vivian stands by the window. She's dressed in a simple white gown, her white hair loose. She looks ethereal, powerful, and facing her is my sister, Rowena. She's wearing all black, leather and silk. Her hair is perfect, her makeup flawless. She looks like she's dressed for a cocktail party, not a siege. In her hand is a small silver dagger. "Hello, Sarah," she says without looking at me. "I was hoping I'd find you here." My blood turns to ice. Rowena's eyes flick to Dove in my arms. "And little Dove, how precious." "Get away from us." My voice is shaking but steady. Rowena laughs. "You always were so dramatic. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to make you an offer. I don't want anything from you." "You should." She takes a step closer. Vivian moves to intercept, but Rowena waves the dagger. Blood iron. One scratch and you'll be paralyzed for hours, my lady. So let's all stay calm." Caspian is guarding the door, fighting off 3 rogues at once. We're on our own. "What do you want?" I demand. Rowena's smile is cold. "Simple. You disappear. Take your daughter. Leave the city. Never speak about what you saw or heard here. And I'll make sure you have enough money to start over somewhere nice." "You're bribing me." "I'm giving you a chance to survive." Her eyes harden. "Because if you testify today, I go to prison. And I'm not going to prison, Sarah. Not for anyone. You sold Vivian to be tortured. I sold information to a business partner. What he did with it isn't my concern." She says it so casually, like she's discussing stock trades. "That's 500,000 manas, by the way, enough to set me up very comfortably." The callousness takes my breath away. "You're a monster." Rowena's expression twists. "I'm a survivor, just like you were supposed to be. But you got soft. You let yourself care about a stranger." She gestures at Vivian. "And now look at you, playing house with vampires. Pretending you're part of their world." "I'm not pretending anything." "You're worthless, Sarah. You've always been worthless. I saved you from foster care, and you repaid me by being a burden for 15 years. Then you had that bastard child and became even more pathetic." She takes another step. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to take Dove and walk out of here, or I'm going to take her myself. She's my niece, legally. If you die today, I get custody, and that means I get access to the Nightshade fortune through her." Understanding crashes over me. This isn't about silencing me. It's about money. It's always been about money with Rowena. If I die, she can claim Dove, and through Dove, she can manipulate Lucian, bleed him for everything he's worth. "You're not taking my daughter." "Then leave. Now, while you still can." I look at Vivian. She's watching me with those clear silver blue eyes. There's no fear in them, just certainty. She believes in me. I look at Dove, my baby girl, trusting me to keep her safe. And I look at my sister, this woman who raised me and resented every second of it, who sold an innocent person for profit, who would use a 4-year-old child as leverage for money. Something inside me breaks open. Not in a bad way, in a liberating way. "No," I say quietly. Rowena blinks. "What?" I said, "No, I'm not leaving, I'm not running, and you're not touching my daughter." I set Dove down gently behind me, stepped between her and Rowena. "You called me worthless for 15 years, made me believe I was nothing without you, made me think I should be grateful you didn't leave me to rot. You should be grateful. You were my sister. You were supposed to love me, protect me. Instead, you used me. And when I wasn't useful anymore, you threw me away like garbage." My voice is rising, getting stronger. "But I'm not garbage. I'm not worthless. I saved a woman's life. I gave her shelter when she had nothing. I chose kindness when you would have chosen profit. So no, Rowena, I'm not the worthless one here. You are." Rowena's face contorts with rage. "You stupid, stupid girl." She lunges. The dagger flashes toward me. I should move, should dodge, but I'm frozen. Then something happens. Heat explodes in my chest. Not painful heat, pure heat, like sunlight concentrated to a single point. Light bursts from my hands. Silver light, brilliant and blinding. It forms a barrier between Rowena and me, a wall of pure energy. Rowena hits it and flies backward, crashes into the wall. The dagger clatters from her hand. I stare at my hands. They're glowing. Silver light pulses under my skin like a heartbeat. "Impossible," Rowena gasps, but Vivian is smiling. "Not impossible," she says quietly. You're a light bringer, darling. Your power has awakened. The light fades. I'm shaking, exhausted, but alive. Two rogues burst through the door behind Rowena. They're coming for Dove. The light flares again. This time it's not a barrier. It's a wave. It slams into the rogues, sends them flying. When it clears, they're unconscious, smoking slightly. Footsteps thunder into the hallway. Lucian appears, blood on his silver hair, eyes blazing crimson. Caspian is behind him. They've fought their way through. Lucian takes in the scene, me standing protectively in front of Dove. Rowena crumpled against the wall. The unconscious rogues. His eyes widen. You awakened. I nod. Can't speak. He crosses to me in 3 strides. His hands frame my face. Are you hurt? No, I'm okay. He looks at Dove. And her. She's fine. Relief floods his features. Then he turns to Rowena. His expression goes cold. Empty. You. His voice drops to a whisper. Somehow that's more terrifying than shouting. You dared to threaten my family. Rowena scrambles backward. I have diplomatic immunity. I'm a mortal citizen. You can't touch me without council approval. You conspired with Thaddeus Vane to kidnap and torture my mother. You sold her for money. You just attempted to kidnap a child under my protection. Lucian's eyes are burning. I don't need council approval for justice. Please. Caspian, take her to the holding cells. She'll stand trial with Thaddeus at sunset. No, you can't. Caspian hauls her up, binds her wrists with silver cord. She's screaming, pleading. I watch her dragged away and feel nothing. No satisfaction, no anger, just emptiness. She's a stranger now. Whatever ties bound us are severed. Dawn breaks over Obsidian Hall. The preparation begins at first light. Obsidian Hall is exactly what it sounds like. A massive structure carved from black volcanic glass. It sits on an island 3 miles off the coast, accessible only by boat. This is neutral ground, where the Vampire Council has met for 800 years. Lucian insists I rest, but I can't. Instead, I spend the day with Vivian. She teaches me about my power, how to call it, how to control it. The Lightbringers were peacekeepers, she explains. Your magic can't harm the innocent, only those who intend harm. It's a gift, a sacred one. I don't feel gifted, I feel terrified. That's normal. She takes my hands. But you're stronger than you know, Serafina. You've survived things that would break most people. This trial, it's nothing compared to what you've already endured. I want to believe her. At 4 in the afternoon, Meredith brings a dress. It's simple. Midnight blue silk, floor length, elegant but not ostentatious. From Lady Vivian, Meredith says. She thought you might want something to wear that makes you feel strong. I put it on. Look at myself in the mirror. I barely recognize the woman looking back. She looks regal, composed. She looks like someone who belongs. Dove helps me braid my hair. Her small fingers are clumsy, but earnest. You look like a princess, Mama. I'm not a princess, baby. I'm just me. That's better than a princess. She kisses my cheek. Grandmama says you're brave, that you're going to tell the truth and the bad people can't hurt truth. Out of the mouths of babes. Grandmama is very wise. Vivian will stay with Dove during the trial. I trust her completely. And the estate is locked down. Caspian has 50 guards patrolling. Dove will be safe. At sunset, Lucian comes to get me. He's dressed in formal attire. Black suit, silver accents. His white hair is pulled back. He looks like a king. Ready? And he asks. No, but let's go anyway. He offers his arm. I take it. We walk to the boat together. Obsidian Hall is breathtaking and terrible. The walls gleam like dark mirrors. The ceiling is vaulted, 100 feet high, carved with symbols I don't understand. There are 200 seats arranged in a semicircle, all of them filled with vampires. They watch me enter with eyes that glow in the dimness. Red, gold, green, predatory. At the front of the hall is a raised dais, 7 chairs, 7 elders sit in judgment. They look ancient, not in appearance, vampires don't age, but in presence. They radiate power that makes my skin prickle. The center chair holds a man who must be 900 years old. His skin is like parchment, his eyes are milky white, but his voice when he speaks is strong. This council is called to order. We sit in judgment over a mortal accused of conspiracy against vampire kind. He looks at me. State your name for the record. My voice is steady. Serafina Winters. You stand accused by Lord Thaddeus Vane of manipulating Lady Vivian Nightshade, of fabricating evidence against a council member, of using blood magic to control minds. He pauses. How do you plead not guilty? Murmurs ripple through the audience. Then let the accuser speak. Thaddeus Vane steps forward. He's handsome. Dark hair, sharp features, but his eyes are cold, dead. Honorable counsel, he begins. His voice is smooth, practiced. I present evidence that this mortal infiltrated the Nightshade household with intent to commit treason. She used her half-blood abilities to cloud Lady Vivian's mind, to make the lady believe I was responsible for her captivity. He produces documents, spreads them on a table for the elders to see. These records show Miss Winters researching vampire law 6 months ago, learning about memory curses, seeking ways to manipulate immortal minds. It's all fabricated. I've never seen those documents, but they look real, official. Furthermore, Thaddeus continues, I have a witness, someone who knows Miss Winters intimately, who can testify to her true character. My stomach drops. Call your witness, the head elder says. Rowena walks in. She's cleaned up, changed clothes, wears a tailored suit. Her hair is perfect again. She looks respectable, trustworthy. She takes the stand. Miss Winters, the elder says, you are sister to the accused. Half-sister, yes. Rowena's voice is sad, regretful. She's acting. It breaks my heart to be here, but I have to tell the truth. Speak. Serafina has always been troubled. Since she was a child, Rowena pauses, dabs at her eyes with a tissue. She lies compulsively, creates elaborate fantasies. I tried to help her, gave her a home for 15 years, but she resented me for it, said I was controlling her. That's not true, I say. Silence, the elder commands. You'll have your turn, Rowena continues. 6 months ago, she became obsessed with vampire culture. Started asking me strange questions. I thought it was harmless, but then she disappeared. And now I learned she'd been planning this all along, using a helpless old woman to get close to Lord Nightshade. She produces her own documents. These are receipts from her apartment, books on vampire mythology, herbs used in dark rituals. She was preparing. It's all lies, every word, but the council is listening. And you believe your sister is dangerous, the elder asks. I believe she's sick. She needs help. Psychiatric care. Rowena looks at me. Her eyes are wet, but there's triumph underneath. I'm sorry, Sarah, but you need to face consequences for what you've done. The performance is perfect. The council murmurs. They're believing her. I feel panic rising. Then Lucian stands. Honorable counsel, I request the right to present evidence in defense. Granted. Lucian walks to the center. He's calm, controlled. Miss Winters did not manipulate my mother. She saved her life. My mother was dying on a frozen street. This mortal woman took her in, cared for her, asked nothing in return. He looks at the elders. That is not the action of a conspirator. That is compassion. Compassion can be calculated, Thaddeus counters. She knew who Lady Vivian was. She didn't. She had no idea until I appeared at her workplace days later. So you claim, but there's no proof. There is proof. A new voice. Vivian enters. The entire hall goes silent. She walks with quiet dignity. Her white gown trails behind her. Her silver hair is crowned with a circlet of moonstones. She looks like a queen. Mother, Thaddeus says, you're confused. You don't need to be here. I am not confused, Thaddeus. Vivian's voice cuts like a blade. Not anymore. My mind has been fully restored, thanks to this young woman's blood magic. Her Lightbringer heritage. Gasps echo through the hall. Lightbringer, the head elder, leans forward. That bloodline is extinct. Clearly not, Vivian gestures to me. Test her blood if you doubt me. You'll find the markers. Dr. Isolde Voss steps forward. I can confirm honorable counsel. I've tested Miss Winters myself. She carries pure Lightbringer blood. The murmuring grows louder. Vivian continues. And I remember everything now, including who kidnapped me, who paid for my captivity, who orchestrated the curse that nearly destroyed my mind. She turns to face Thaddeus. It was you. Thaddeus doesn't flinch. Lies. You're being manipulated. Am I? Vivian pulls something from her sleeve. A paper butterfly. Silver. Delicate. This was in the cellar where you kept me. I folded it during a moment of clarity, before the curse took full effect. She hands it to the nearest elder. Examine it. You'll find blood iron residue, the same signature as Thaddeus's personal forging. And there, she points, a fingerprint. The elder holds the butterfly up to the light. His expression darkens. There is indeed a print. and magical trace matching Lord Vane's signature. Thaddeus's facade cracks. That proves nothing. Anyone could have planted. And there's more. Vivian's voice is ice. Rowena Winters, please stand. Rowena goes pale but stands. You and I have never met before today. Correct. That's right. Then how do you explain this? Vivian produces a piece of paper. It's aged, creased. A contract, signed 29 days ago, between Thaddeus Vane and Rowena Winters. Payment of $500,000 in exchange for detailed information about my daily routines. The location of the winter garden gates, the timing of guard rotations. She hands it to the elders. Rowena's face drains of color. I found this in the ruins of the cellar, Vivian says quietly. After Thaddeus's men fled when I escaped. They left evidence behind. Careless. The head elder reads the contract. His expression turns thunderous. This signature is genuine. Both parties. No, Rowena's backing away. I didn't. It's fake. The magical authentication is clear, another elder says. This document is real. You sold information that led to Lady Vivian's torture. She paid me, Rowena points at Vivian. She asked me to do it. She wanted to test her son's loyalty. Enough, the head elder slams his hand down. The sound cracks like thunder. We have heard sufficient testimony. The truth is clear. He stands. The other 6 elders rise with him. Thaddeus Vane, you are found guilty of treason, of conspiracy, of torture of a council member. You are stripped of your rank, your title, your lands. You are sentenced to the void, exile eternal. Thaddeus's face goes blank. No, you can't. Guards appear. They're massive, armored. They seize Thaddeus. He fights, but they're too strong. As they drag him away, he looks at Lucian. You'll regret this, he hisses. You chose mortals over your own kind. It will destroy you. Then he's gone. The elder turns to Rowena. Rowena Winters, you are mortal. We cannot execute you, but we can ensure justice through mortal law. He nods to figures standing in the shadows. 2 people in FBI jackets step forward. Miss Winters, you're under arrest for conspiracy kidnapping and attempted murder. You have the right to remain silent. Rowena screams, struggles, but they cuff her, read her rights. As they lead her past me, she spits. You think you've won. You're still nothing, Sarah. You'll always be nothing. I look at her, really look at her, and I smile. You're wrong, I say softly. I'm a mother, a daughter, a friend. I'm family to people who chose me. And you're just a stranger who I used to know. Rowena's face twists with rage, but then she's gone, dragged away by federal agents. The hall is silent. The head elder looks at me. Serafina Winters, you have been wrongly accused. This council apologizes for the injustice done to you today. He pauses. Is there recompense you seek? I shake my head. I just want to go home. Vivian steps forward. Honorable Council, I wish to make a formal declaration. Speak, Lady Nightshade. This woman saved my life when I had nothing. She asked for no reward. She acted from pure compassion. Her blood carries the Lightbringer gift. She is descended from those who protected our kind for millennia. Vivian's voice rings clear. I hereby name her daughter of House Nightshade and matriarch-elect. When I choose to fade, she will inherit my seat on this council. The hall erupts, shouts, arguments, protests. But Vivian raises her hand. It is my right under ancient law. A matriarch may adopt any she chooses. I choose Serafina Winters. Does anyone challenge this right? Silence. No one dares challenge a matriarch. The head elder nods slowly. So be it. The record will show Serafina Winters, daughter of Nightshade, matriarch-elect. He looks at me. Do you accept this honor? I look at Vivian, at Lucian standing beside her with hope in his eyes, at the life they're offering me. Family, purpose, belonging. I accept, I whisper, for my daughter, so she knows that family isn't who you're born to. It's who chooses you. Vivian embraces me, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm home. Harbor Diner looks different in the morning light. The windows are clean, new. The sign has been repainted in cheerful yellow letters. The booths have been reupholstered in deep blue vinyl that doesn't crack. But it still smells like coffee and bacon grease. Still has that worn wooden counter where truckers sit and complain about the weather. It's still home. I own it now. Lucian tried to just give it to me, but I insisted on buying it. With money I earned working as consultant to the Nightshade Council, helping vampires understand mortal law. bridging the gap between worlds. It's good work, meaningful work. The diner is busy this Tuesday morning, a mix of regulars and new faces, some human, some vampire. They sit side by side, drinking coffee, eating breakfast, coexisting. Old Joe, a fisherman who's been coming here for 30 years, shares a booth with Meredith, who's taking a rare morning off from the estate. They're arguing good-naturedly about the best way to prepare lobster. Dove runs between the tables. She's 5 now, taller, her dark curls bouncing. She hangs paper butterflies from the ceiling, silver ones that Vivian taught her to make. They catch the morning sunlight, spinning slowly. The customers love them. I'm behind the counter pouring coffee for a regular when the mail carrier drops off the morning newspaper. I glance at it while I ring up an order. The headline catches my eye. Former Portland resident sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for conspiracy. There's a photo of Rowena, older now, haggard. The courtroom sketch shows her in an orange jumpsuit, her perfect hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. The article details everything: the kidnapping plot, the money, the conspiracy with a domestic terrorist organization. They kept the vampire details out of it, protected the secret world. But the justice is real. 30 years. She'll be 62 when she gets out. I should feel vindicated, triumphant, but I just feel sad. Sad that she chose money over family, greed over love. Sad that she'll never know what it's like to be chosen. I fold the paper, put it in the recycling bin beneath the counter. That chapter is closed. Mama Dove runs up breathless and smiling. Can I show Grandmama my new butterfly? I made it all by myself. Of course, baby. She'll love it. The bell above the door chimes. Lucian walks in, Caspian behind him as always. Lucian can walk in daylight now, with the amulet Vivian created. It filters the sun just enough to let him move freely during the day. He slides onto a stool at the counter, smiles at me. That smile still makes my heart skip. Coffee, I ask, please, and whatever you recommend for breakfast. Pancakes. Dove helped make the batter this morning. Then pancakes it is. I pour his coffee. Our fingers brush. That spark is still there, growing stronger every day. We're taking it slow, learning each other, building something real. No rush. We have time. Vivian enters through the back door, Dove already running to her with the new butterfly. My daughter launches herself at her grandmother with complete trust. Vivian catches her, easily laughing. My darling girl, let me see this masterpiece. She examines the butterfly with exaggerated seriousness. Excellent work. The folds are very precise. You're becoming quite the artist. Grandmama, can we go to the aquarium today? If it's okay with your mother, Vivian says, setting Dove down gently. It's fine, I call out. Just have her back by dinner. We're having spaghetti. Her favorite. Vivian crosses to the counter, kisses my cheek. You're a wonderful mother, darling. Don't let anyone tell you different. I never do anymore. Vivian orders tea. I steep it exactly the way she taught me. 6 times in the water, 6 clockwise stirs. She takes a sip and nods approvingly. Perfect. As Vivian and Dove leave hand in hand heading toward Vivian's cart, I watch them through the window. My mother figure. My daughter. 2 generations connected by choice, not blood. Lucian follows my gaze. You're thinking about something. Just grateful. I turn back to him. A year ago, I was walking home in a snowstorm, $43 short on rent. Now I own this place. I have family. I have purpose. You always had purpose. His voice is quiet, certain. You just needed people who could see it. The door chimes again. A young couple enters, hesitant. The woman is human. The man is clearly vampire, pale skin, careful movements. They're holding hands. They sit at a booth and I notice the way other customers glance over, then return to their meals. No fear, no judgment, just acceptance. 6 months ago, this wouldn't have happened. The council's new policies I helped write have started to change things. Slowly, carefully. It's not perfect, but it's progress. I bring menus to the young couple. Welcome to Harbor Diner. Can I start you with coffee? The woman smiles gratefully. Yes, please. And thank you for having a place where we can just be. Everyone's welcome here, I tell her, and I mean it. When I return to the counter, Lucian is watching me with an expression I can't quite read. What? I ask. I'm proud of you. He says it simply, matter of fact. You're changing the world, Sarah, one breakfast at a time. Heat rises in my cheeks. I'm just running a diner. You're doing much more than that. He reaches across the counter, takes my hand. Tonight, the spring equinox celebration at Ravencrest. Vivian asked me to make sure you're coming. I wouldn't miss it. Good. His thumb brushes across my knuckles. I have something I want to ask you, but it can wait until tonight. My heart skips. That's not fair. You can't just say that and then... Tonight, he repeats, smiling. He stands leaving money on the counter for a meal he hasn't eaten. I'll pick you and Dove up at sunset. And Lucian. But he's already heading for the door, Caspian following. He turns back, once catches my eye and winks. Then he's gone. I stand there holding the coffee pot, my heart racing, wondering what tonight will bring. Ravencrest Estate is transformed. Every window blazes with candlelight. The gardens are strung with thousands of silver lanterns that float in the air, held aloft by some magic I still don't understand. Vampires from across the eastern seaboard have gathered, but also humans, half-bloods, mages, all walking together through the grand halls. It's beautiful, and it's terrifying, and it's everything Lucian and I have been working toward. I'm wearing the dress Vivian made for me, midnight blue silk with silver embroidery of butterflies along the hem. They seem to move in the candlelight, almost alive. Dove wears a matching one in pale silver. She twirls in circles, making the skirt bell out, delighted. Lucian arrives at sunset to escort us. He's in formal attire, black suit with silver threading that catches the light. His white hair is pulled back with a silver clasp. He looks like he belongs on a throne, but when he sees me, his expression softens. You're beautiful, he says quietly. You're biased. Completely. He grins. Doesn't make it less true. We drive to Ravencrest together, Dove chattering the entire way about the magic tricks Vivian promised to show her. At the estate, the celebration is already in full swing. Music drifts from the ballroom. Laughter echoes through the halls. Vivian greets us at the entrance. She wears a gown of pure white. Her silver hair is crowned with moonstones and fresh spring flowers. She looks ageless, timeless. My family, she says warmly, embracing us each in turn. We enter together. The ballroom is magnificent. The ceiling has been enchanted to show the night sky stars twinkling overhead. Couples dance, some mortal, some immortal, some mixed. It's a glimpse of what the world could be. At midnight, Vivian calls for silence. The music fades. Everyone turns toward the center of the hall where she stands, Dove beside her. Tonight we celebrate balance, Vivian says, her voice carrying to every corner. Between light and dark, mortal and immortal, between what we were and what we're becoming. She looks at me. Her eyes are warm. 6 months ago, a stranger showed me kindness when I had nothing. She saved my life, and in doing so, she reminded us all of what matters most. Not power, not wealth, but compassion, love, family. She gestures to Dove. Come, darling, help me. Together they lift a large silver box. When they open it, butterflies pour out. Hundreds of them. Not paper. Real. Magical. They fill the ballroom with soft silver light. Everyone gasps, reaches up to touch them. The butterflies land on shoulders, hands, hair. They glow softly, warmly. One lands on my palm. It's alive. I can feel its tiny heartbeat. See the delicate veins in its wings. It's perfect. Lucian's arm wraps around my waist, drawing me close. Come with me, he murmurs. There's something I need to show you. He leads me out of the ballroom through the gardens to the eastern terrace where we first talked about the trial. The ocean spreads out before us. Moonlight dances on the waves. Zura, he turns to face me, takes my hands. These past 6 months have been... I don't have words for what they have been. Good, I offer, smiling. Transformative. His thumb brushes my knuckles. You came into my life when I was breaking. You saved my mother. You brought light to a world that had grown too dark. Lucian, let me finish. He takes a breath. I'm 800 years old. I've seen empires rise and fall. I've loved and lost and learned to guard my heart. But you, his voice softens. You make me want to be vulnerable again. You make me believe in tomorrow. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a small silver box. My heart stops. I'm not asking you to marry me, he says quickly. Not yet. We both know you need time. You need to be sure. He opens the box. Inside is a ring. Silver worked into the shape of a butterfly with wings spread. In the center, a moonstone catches the light. This is a promise, Lucian says. A promise that I will wait as long as you need, that I will walk beside you, not ahead of you, that I will love you for exactly who you are. He looks up at me. Jura, will you let me court you properly, the way you deserve? Tears stream down my face. Yes, I whisper. Yes, Lucian. Yes. He slips the ring onto my finger. It fits perfectly. Then he kisses me. It's soft, gentle, full of promise. When we pull apart, the butterfly on my palm takes flight, joins the others swirling in the garden. Lucian rests his forehead against mine. Thank you. For what? For seeing me, for choosing me, for being brave enough to let yourself be chosen. We stand there together watching the butterflies dance in the moonlight. And I think about the woman I was a year ago, walking through a snowstorm, $43 short on rent, invisible to everyone. I think about the decision to stop, to help a stranger, to choose kindness when it would have been easier to walk away. That one choice changed everything. What are you thinking? Lucian asks. That I spent 15 years believing I was worthless, that I wasn't enough, that I'd been thrown away because there was something wrong with me. And now I know the truth. I look up at him. I was never worthless. I was just invisible to people who didn't know how to see. But you see me, Lucian. Vivian sees me. Dove sees me. We do. He kisses my forehead, and we always will. Music drifts from the ballroom. A new song, slower, romantic. Dance with me, Lucian says. Out here. Why not? So we dance on the terrace under the stars surrounded by magical butterflies. And for the first time in my life, I'm not just surviving. I'm living. I'm loved. I'm home. My name is Seraphina Winters, daughter of Nightshade, matriarch-elect, mother, lightbringer. They called me worthless for 15 years. They said I was a burden, a mistake, nothing. But they were wrong. I'm not worthless. I never was. I just needed someone to see me, to choose me, to fold the first silver butterfly and show me that transformation is possible, that from cold and darkness, beauty can emerge. That family isn't who raises you. It's who stays when everyone else leaves. It's who sees you when you're invisible. It's who folds butterflies beside you in the dark and promises tomorrow will be better. And it is. Tomorrow is always better when you're loved. The butterfly in the garden lands on Lucian's shoulder, glows brightly, then spreads its wings, and flies toward the light.